If you're over 50, there's a good chance some of the foods you still think of as normal are no longer helping your body the way they used to, and some may actually be quietly working against you. That's what makes this so frustrating, because most people don't suddenly wake up one day and think, "This food is ruining me." Instead, they just notice the symptoms. The belly gets harder to lose, the energy crashes hit harder, sleep gets lighter, stiffness lingers longer, blood sugar becomes less forgiving, strength feels like it's slipping. And the worst part? A lot of these foods are the exact same things people have eaten for years without thinking twice. So if you've ever looked at your plate and thought, "Why does this suddenly make me feel worse than it used to?" Today's video is for you. Because after 50, your metabolism changes, your muscles become easier to lose, your blood sugar becomes less forgiving, and your body simply stops tolerating certain eating patterns the way it once did. So in this video, we're going to break down 7 common foods and eating habits that can quietly start backfiring after 50, and more importantly, what to do instead. And trust me, some of the biggest troublemakers are foods people think are harmless. Let's start with one of the most common and most deceptive foods of all after 50. And honestly, this one catches a lot of people off guard. Number 1, sugary breakfasts. This is one of the worst ways to start your day after 50. And a lot of people are doing it without realizing how hard it can hit them now. We're talking about things like sugary cereal, pastries, muffins, sweet toast, flavored oatmeal packets, pancakes drenched in syrup, sweet coffee drinks, or even a light breakfast that's mostly refined carbs and sugar. The reason this becomes such a problem after 50 is because your body often doesn't handle that fast sugar rush the way it used to. Instead of giving you stable energy, it can spike your blood sugar quickly, then crash it just as fast. And that's when people feel shaky, hungry, foggy, tired, snacky, and weirdly unsatisfied just a couple hours later. But here's the part most people miss. When breakfast gives you almost no meaningful protein, you're not just setting yourself up for hunger. You may also be failing to support the very muscle your body is trying to hold on to as you age. And that matters more than most people realize. Because after 50, a weak breakfast doesn't just affect your morning. It can quietly affect your energy, appetite, cravings, and body composition all day long. A much smarter direction is a breakfast that gives your body something back. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, oatmeal with nuts, berries, chia, or a protein-rich meal that actually helps you feel steady instead of drained. And if you think breakfast is bad, wait until you hear what happens when this next, harmless, habit starts showing up at lunch and dinner too. Number 2, white bread, crackers, and soft, easy carbs. This one is sneaky because it doesn't look dangerous. In fact, it often looks comforting, convenient, and easy to digest, which is exactly why so many adults over 50 start leaning on it more and more. White bread, crackers, toast, plain noodles, white rice in oversized portions, packaged snack foods, light sandwiches with barely any protein, soup with crackers and not much else. These foods are easy, familiar, and often feel safe. But here's the problem. Many of them fill your stomach without doing much to truly support your body. And after 50, that becomes a much bigger deal. Because if your meals are mostly soft processed carbs and very low in protein, fiber, and nutrients, you may be eating enough to feel full, while still underfeeding the parts of your body that keep you strong. That means your muscles don't get much support, your hunger comes back faster, your blood sugar may swing harder, and your body often ends up less stable than it should be. This is one of the biggest silent mistakes after 50, a full stomach, but an unsupported body. So if your lunch or snacks are built mostly around bread, crackers, cereal-type foods, or carb-heavy convenience meals, that may be one of the first places to rethink. Because foods that feel easiest to eat are sometimes the exact foods that give your body the least protection. Now this next one is where a lot of people say, "Okay, I know this is bad." But what they don't realize is how much worse it can hit after 50. Number 3, sugary drinks. This includes regular soda, sweet tea, fruit juice, energy drinks, bottled coffee drinks, sweetened smoothies, and even some healthy drinks that are loaded with sugar and almost nothing that actually helps your body. And here's why this becomes especially risky after 50. Liquid sugar is incredibly easy to consume, incredibly easy to underestimate, and often does almost nothing to make you feel satisfied. That means you can drink a surprising amount of sugar and calories without your body ever really registering it as a proper meal. And because there's usually very little protein, fiber, or chewing involved, your blood sugar can shoot up fast and leave you crashing just as hard. That's one reason so many people feel exhausted, puffy, hungry, or foggy, and don't even realize the drink itself may be playing a role. And if you're trying to lose belly fat, support blood sugar, or keep your energy more stable after 50, sugary drinks are one of the easiest things to underestimate and one of the smartest things to cut back on. Water, sparkling water, unsweetened tea, black coffee, or lower sugar protein-based drinks often support your body much better than sweet drinks that feel harmless going down. But if you think the problem is only sugar, this next one is where a lot of comfort eating quietly starts aging people faster. Number 4, fried comfort foods. Now let's be honest, fried comfort foods are emotionally powerful. Crispy chicken, fries, fried snacks, fast food combos, onion rings, greasy takeout, heavy diner-style meals. These foods don't just taste good, they often feel familiar, soothing, and deeply tied to routine or reward. And that emotional connection is exactly why they can become so hard to let go of after 50. But here's the truth. After 50, your body often becomes much less forgiving with foods that are heavy, greasy, highly processed, and low in the things that actually help you recover well. These meals can leave people feeling sluggish, bloated, inflamed, sleepy, and strangely weighed down, in a way that didn't always happen as strongly years ago. And over time, if these foods become a regular habit rather than an occasional treat, they can quietly crowd out the kind of nutrition your body now needs more of, not less of. That's the key mistake. It's not that one fried meal ruins your life. It's that a pattern of comfort eating can slowly start stealing energy, stability, and resilience from a body that already has less room for nutritional waste than it used to. And that brings us to one of the biggest traps of all after 50. Number 5, eating for comfort more than support. This may actually be the most important one in the whole video, because for many adults over 50, the real issue is not one single bad food. It's the pattern of reaching for food mainly because it's comforting, easy, nostalgic, convenient, or emotionally rewarding, even when it's not actually helping the body. And this is where people start getting into trouble without meaning to. A little sweet snack at night because you're tired, toast because it's easy, crackers because you don't feel like cooking, ice cream because it feels relaxing, a second helping because it's comforting, a processed snack because you're bored, lonely, or in a routine. This is not about judging anybody, it's about recognizing something very real. After 50, the body becomes less forgiving of eating patterns that are built mostly around emotional ease and not enough around physical support. Because what feels comforting in the moment can quietly become exhausting to your body over time. And that's the shift many people need to hear. After 50, your meals need a job. They should help support your strength, your energy, your blood sugar, your recovery, and your ability to stay independent. That doesn't mean every bite has to be perfect, but it does mean food should stop being only a reward and start becoming a tool. And once you understand that, this next food becomes much easier to spot for what it really is. Number 6, giant carb-heavy dinners. This one hits a lot of people hard because dinner is often where the biggest comfort meal of the day happens. Big plates of pasta, large servings of white rice, heavy casseroles, big takeout portions, garlic bread, pizza nights. Oversized comfort meals eaten late, especially after a long day. And while this may feel satisfying in the moment, after 50 it often hits very differently. Because if dinner is mostly heavy carbs, low in protein, and oversized compared to what your body actually needs, it can leave you feeling sluggish, overly full, sleepy, bloated, and sometimes weirdly hungry again later. It can also make it harder for some people to feel light, rested, or balanced the next morning. And this is where many adults unknowingly get trapped in a cycle. Light or weak eating earlier in the day, then overeating comfort carbs at night, then waking up tired and craving quick energy again the next morning. That cycle can quietly repeat for years. So if your biggest meal is usually the heaviest, starchiest, most comfort-driven meal of your day, that's one of the first patterns worth questioning after 50. Because after 50, eating big is not always the same thing as eating well. And now we get to the one that almost nobody thinks is a problem, until their body starts paying for it. Number 7, barely eating but still eating the wrong things. This one surprises people, because many adults over 50 genuinely feel like they don't eat that much anymore. And sometimes they're right. The issue is not always quantity. Sometimes the bigger problem is quality. In other words, you may not be eating a lot, But if most of what you do eat is low in protein, low in fiber, low in nutrients, and built around sugar, starch, snack foods, or convenience foods, your body may still be undersupported in exactly the wrong ways. And this is why so many people say things like, "I barely eat, but I still gain weight," or "I'm not eating much, but I feel weak all the time." Because after 50, eating less is not automatically smarter if the little you are eating isn't actually helping your body hold on to strength, stabilize energy, or recover well. And that may be one of the biggest wake-up calls in this entire conversation. After 50, the goal is not just to eat less, it's to eat smarter. That means better fuel, not just fewer bites. So what should you do instead? Here's the simplest and most powerful reframe of all. Stop asking only, "What should I cut out?" and start asking, "What is this meal doing for my body?" Is it helping support muscle? Is it steadying your energy? Is it giving your body something useful back? Or is it just filling space, feeding cravings, and keeping you stuck in a cycle your body no longer handles well? Because once you start asking better questions, your choices start changing naturally. And after 50, that can be life-changing. Now before we end, there's one more piece people absolutely need to hear, because food matters, but food alone is not enough. If you want your body to hold onto strength, stability, and independence after 50, you also have to use it. That means walking more, standing more, doing gentle strength work, resistance bands, chair squats, wall push-ups, balance work, or simply moving with more purpose. Because one of the fastest ways to lose strength after 50 is to stop giving your body a reason to keep it. And the good news? Even after 50, 60, 70, and beyond, your body can still respond. It can still adapt. It can still rebuild more than people think. That's one of the most hopeful truths in healthy aging, but only if you stop assuming decline is automatic. And if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. What feels normal is not always what supports you anymore. Some foods don't just add weight, they quietly steal energy, stability, and strength. And once you realize that, everything starts changing. You stop eating like your younger self and start eating for the body you actually live in now. And that's where real transformation begins. So now I want to hear from you in the comments which one of these 7 is hardest to give up after 50. Sugary breakfasts, bread and crackers, sugary drinks, fried foods, big carb-heavy dinners, comfort eating, or barely eating the right things. Drop your answer below because I guarantee you, someone else reading it probably needs to hear they're not the only one. And if you want more simple, honest health videos made specifically for adults over 50 who want more strength, energy, and independence, subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay close to this channel. Because the habits that feel small now often become the outcomes that feel big later. And remember, before you eat it, after 50, stop and think again.